Yes, hello. Can I speak to the president of Rotten Tomatoes, please? They're out on lunch. I bet they're sitting right next to you telling you not to pass the phone over. Well, I'm going to make a video and talk about your Rotten Tomatoes. Is this thing on? Welcome back to Big Mouth, and fancy seeing you, Hugh and Jew. Are very welcome, my friends, and especially my enemies. Come in and sit down, because do you remember the meltdown over the Captain Marvel Rotten Tomatoes score, and how they took down the audience scores, and they said they were making some changes, and they did. So they decided what they would do is, you, as an audience member, you could only post a review on there if you actually could prove you went to see the film. So now there's actually verified audience scores on Rotten Tomatoes. Now my suspicion here is this was supposed to create a kind of dynamic where the audience scores and the critic scores were very similar. Unfortunately, it hasn't worked out that way, because if I look here on my device, we've got 58% on the tomato meter from critics, right, from 243 critics. Now, verified ratings from the audience, verified, don't forget, 2,615 people have given Aladdin 93%. Now, of course, Disney are not going to mind this time, are they? Because it's positive for their film. Now, this is the critics' consensus. Aladdin retells its classic source material story with sufficient spectacle and skill, even if it never approaches the dazzling splendor of the animated original. Well, we knew it couldn't, get anywhere near the animated movie. This is why I said, why are they making this film? Well, of course, they're making this film to make bucks, and it's doing really well in the box office, so it's going to do that. But this is such a massive own goal, because you can see that the percentage is hilarious. The disagreement again between the critics and the audience. But I've said this before. Rotten Tomatoes is an instrument of the movie industry, of Hollywood, right? The studios pretty much own this site. I know Warner Brothers has a percentage in it. I don't know if it's got rid of their percentage yet. But pretty much this is kind of a tool of the industry. And it's been, it's an interesting site for me, because I will never use this site to guide my opinion whether I should go and see a film or not. So I think it's really, really funny, but I think it's hilarious that 93% of this verified audience who had to prove they bought a ticket to even put their opinions down and their ratings down, right? 93%. So that's a big, big difference. And I just think that's really, really funny, because this is one of the biggest own goals in the entertainment history's history, right? Because they changed the rules. I'm telling you, they changed the rules because they thought there will be parity between the audience and the kind of critics as well. But I don't know if this is the first time they've used the verified audience score, but I tell you what, there's no difference, because the differences are still there, which kind of tells you that there's no bots. Now, what's interesting as well, now they've got verified audience scores, they can't talk about bots anymore. They can't talk about Russian bots in the system, or people comment bombing, or people just doing this out of hatred. These are people who went to see the film. And 93% of people like this film. Of course, ordinary people who go and see a film do not deeply analyse it like critics do. That's the critic's job, to overanalyse it, look deeply at it. So the way they look at a film is very different to the way we look at a film. There's no question about that, but there is absolutely no question about this. This is not what Rotten Tomatoes wanted. And eventually, when it goes the other way, when critics give a film like 93%, right, and the audience give it 58%, that's when we're going to see them bite back and try and come up with another contrived situation why these entitled fans are voting these films down. Because they've changed things now, the bots did it excuse just won't wash.